Hello, and welcome back to the podcast, everybody. It's Cody here, and I'm just alone. Charlie's not here. We don't have a guest. This marks the first episode in a new series we're going to be doing where we just teach you about marketing, okay? We decided to do this because we should. There's a lot of different ways that we can help your business grow in the realm of marketing, and frankly, we don't think that we have been vocal enough and kind of like out in the social media world enough, helping our peers. And we think that there's a big opportunity to simply get people more interested in investing more in their marketing. And we just think that by maybe recording some episodes that help you learn, that we can help you grow, bottom line. Whether you decide to take the information and implement it yourself, or you reach out to us for clarity, or you reach out to us for implementation, it's all good. We're here to help, and that's what we're going to be doing now. Hopefully, we still do some guest episodes where we interview our friends and peers in the business world and keep that chugging along. But for now, we're going to start peppering these in here, and so we sort of have like a 90-day kind of plan that we've roadmapped here. There's a lot to cover. There's a lot to dive into in marketing, and we hope to simplify things because of the reason that there is so much is part of the reason why people get lost trying to figure out how to do it. But it doesn't really have to be that way. It can be simple and as far as the concept goes. And so it doesn't have to be this hard thing that you have to be frustrated with. So today, this is the first episode, intro episode. We're going to cover basically like what is marketing, okay? And I think that there's a million different ways that you could define this as it contrasts to advertising. But really, I think that the important thing to consider is that marketing is demand generation for your business. There's a million things that you can do that fall into the bubble of marketing, but overall, it's demand generation. And what I would say the number one reason why most marketing efforts fall apart in small businesses is because there's not a ton of strategy put into these efforts or consistency. And there's sort of a lot of guesswork that goes on. So I would say consistency and strategy are lacking. But most of the time, we find business owners solving problems the same way that they put out fires, right? Every business owner has this experience where, like, they seem to feel like they're the only one that's able to like solve all the problems, so therefore they're responsible for that, and they kind of chase problems to solve. And when the idea that they need to invest in their marketing comes to their mind, they sort of attempt to solve for that the same way that they solve day-to-day problems, which is like, where's the fire? I need to put it out. There's a social media opportunity on Instagram, and so we have to have an Instagram. My friend has an email marketing campaign. We need to do that. And it's sort of a game of whack-a-mole FOMO, if you will. And we've all been there. We've all done it. And what I hope that I can communicate is that the longer you do that, the longer you're going to the longer the attention on your business is going to keep like not growing, I guess, if you will. So with that said, I wanted to bring to the table today something tangible and simple to consider, maybe write down, and so that you can visualize this. Actually, I have my show notes here. Maybe I'll even turn this into a blog or something. But the 3 core ingredients that we see as being absolutely foundational to having an actual marketing system, rather than just a game of whack-a-mole where you're just doing little tactics over here and a little tactic over there, but like an actual comprehensive, consistent system that where all the moving parts and pieces work together to actually build some momentum, right? Like think about it like parts to a car, they all come together and make the car locomote down the road. But like just the muffler or just the tires isn't going to do it. It needs to all come together. The three main, I'll call them core ingredients for now, is number one, your positioning / offers. Number two is your communications. And number three is your infrastructure. Most people think of this as tech, like the techie stuff. Okay. So just going in order, I'm going to run through these real quickly. Number one, positioning and offers. Okay. This, basically said is your products and services, but more importantly said is the relationship of problems and solution that you have with your clients. Okay, so this whole aspect, the whole aspect of positioning and crafting offers should start with market research. Okay, market research. That the term market research should always be in your head. And honestly, it's probably the biggest missing piece of anybody's, like any small business's marketing that I've ever seen. Market research, like almost nobody does market research. And the people that do freaking win big. Okay. So what does that mean? It could be as simple as, and we've been doing this recently for our own business, is interviewing people who resemble your ideal customer and asking them questions about what their problems are, what their pain points are. You're gonna get a lot of answers that are sort of irrelevant or maybe to the realm of things that you offer, but you should really be very considerate and open to listening to what their problems are, because they're almost never going to tell you what you want to hear what their problem is. Because, I mean, if you're being genuine, you're really just asking them, what problems are you having? And they're going to tell you. There will be a trend that emerges as you interview these people, and you're going to gather a lot of helpful data and a lot of information about them and what their pain points are. And that's going to create a list for you of problems that you can solve. Now, if you have it in your head, like, well, I do this, and so I need to interview people who have like things change. They might not have a problem that fits the bill. And so exactly, or specifically, so you want to ask some questions that are relevant to your industry, your line of service. And so for me, I might say, like, ask an interview question and say, in terms of like the marketing in your business, in terms of your marketing department, what pain points do you have? What problems do you have? And that would be a good place to start. You can also look online forums, see, probably like places like Reddit, where there's communities, I guess Facebook groups where people are, posting and asking about problems that they have. That'll just give you an idea. And this might sound foreign to you, because that's not what we like to think. It's an inconvenient way of thinking. It's inefficient to do research when you can just simply make an assumption of like, well, this is a problem, people need it. It's like, yeah, but you really need to get to the heart of the emotion of their problem. And that people ultimately buy solutions that they think, well, that will make their emotions feel better, right? It'll make them feel better to have it solved. So that is where you would start, is market research. And then from there, you can develop a value proposition, which basically means like, you have this problem, we have this solution, it has, and it has this value to you. Now, getting clear on who you help and the problem you solve is part of that. And by the time that's all said and done, you have everything you need to start crafting some actual offers, right? There's a lot of work already done explaining what offers are, out there in the world. We have a book over here, Alex Hormozi's $100 Million Offers. I would recommend it just to understand like the anatomy of an offer and all this. And probably at some point here in the coming weeks or content episodes, I'll dive into some of that, like I'm looking over at the whiteboard here now, and we keep it on our whiteboard as basically like a 9-step system for crafting an offer. Like here's all the things that are part of an offer, right? Okay, so that's the first primary core ingredient, because with like that is your whole reason for your existence. It's how you're positioned in the market, and it's what you're offering. So second core ingredient, communications. Okay, this is the actual like information that you're putting out in the world. It's your ads. Okay, your digital ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, Meta ads, ads on Nextdoor, maybe maybe TikTok. Anywhere where you're like paying to have your message put out in the world would count as a paid ad, even if it's print, flyers, mailers. I mean, maybe something like that. Possibly, maybe in a local publication, magazine, ads, all that. Obviously, social content, social media clips on Instagram, Facebook, all of that counts as communications, right? Emails that you send out, what you say when you're at an in-person networking event, okay? Maybe a radio ad or a billboard. It's all it's anything where a message is being transmitted, like from your company's voice to the world, counts as a communication. Okay, so it's like the actual message, not the idea of the message, not the blueprint of the message, but the actual communication. Okay, and the third core ingredient is your infrastructure or the tech stuff. Okay, and so this is traditionally where our customer base has come to us looking for help from. So your website, social media profiles, like the email software that you use, the customer relationship management, the CRM you use, your ad accounts, okay? All of those things are the actual bones that hold the body of your marketing system together. And a lot of people get stuck with the tech, and so, luckily things are getting easier, but that, AI can help, the software is getting better these days, and that's all great. But you don't be somebody who gets hung up with not knowing how to use this stuff. Like there are people, there are services that make this like a breeze, right? Like for example, I can do some work on my car, but I am not a mechanic. And so it is an obvious good trade for me to take my car to the mechanic when it needs to get worked on. Okay. It's like a tech infrastructure thing. I need a professional to do it. But if you can't afford that, luckily things are getting easier now, but the infrastructure is important. Okay. It is the thing that captures the interest that your communications prompted or generated or caused, right? So if you look at it 1, 2, 3, positioning, communications, infrastructure, it's very similar to, if you will, the scientific method, and that's why it is like that's why these 3 things matter so much. Your positioning is like your hypothesis, your communications is your test, and your infrastructure is how you measure your test, right? So who you help, who you solve your problem for, what problem you solve, that's like the hypothesis that you test in the market, and then you test it by putting out the communications and seeing what kind of results come back. Are we getting more messages, DMs on Instagram? Are we getting more leads on the website? Are we getting clicks on our email campaign? Okay. Those performance metrics are measured by the infrastructure, but the performance comes from the first 2 things, your positioning and your communications, because you can have a good offer and communicate it like crap and therefore you get bad results. Or you can have a terrible offer but communicate beautifully, but it's not relevant to the audience, and so you don't get results there. Or you could have the first 2 things and be really messy and unsophisticated with how you're actually capturing interest, very valuable interest that you generate. But because you have like a messy infrastructure, maybe a hard to use website or unclear calls to action and all this, you're going to miss out on all that hard work and investment that you put in. And these three things, come together to give you knowledge and data. And that is the cumulative results of having your core ingredients of your marketing system in place, is that you get knowledge and data. And we all know that if we know the goods, then we can do something with it, right? If we know that this type of person buys this type of thing, or they don't buy another thing, then we know not to waste time, money, and energy talking to them in a certain way or trying to communicate with them in the wrong place, right? So the end result is you get a lot of knowledge and data, and that's going to help all the future decisions in your marketing department. Now, here at Auburn Business Ventures, we really want to help businesses piece this all together. Some people, they just struggle with the tech. They struggle with like working the machine. Some people underestimate the amount of communication that they should be doing about their business, right? They just simply don't tell enough people about their stuff. And then some people need help getting clarity around their positioning. And we're here to help you with all three of those things. And the sooner that you piece them together, the sooner that you can have a complete marketing system. And I actually have not just me, but like there's an easy way to piece these all together in terms of like if you have the infrastructure to have a system that's pretty reliable where you can, for example, like I'm doing right now, record for about an hour a week and then get like 100 pieces of content out into the world, or communication, I should say, cumulatively across different platforms. And you have a lot of leverage for the amount of time that you put in. And so if you have the guidance, right, to know how to position, and you have a method of, recording and creating communications and distributing them, you now have leverage. And it's the consistent effort on this that will allow you to generate more demand for your business, which is the job of marketing, right? Is to get the sales team more leads, to get more traffic to the website, right? Is to create leverage for a sales opportunity. If you're in e-commerce, this is it gets a little bit more advanced, well, quite a bit more advanced, because you're not just trying to generate leads for your sales team. You are ultimately going for a sale on the website, or at least minimally getting people to opt in, say, to like an email marketing campaign where you can nurture them further, and that your sales effort is sort of automated, if you will. It's all digital. Like there's no, maybe no person-to-person sales actions happening. But with that said, that wraps up like the intro today. What is marketing? What are the three core ingredients that you need? What do you get out of them? It's knowledge and data. And I'm excited to be bringing you guys more content that should at least get the gears in your mind turning and scheming and strategizing for your success, which we want for you and all of our friends. So real quick, I'm just going to go over, to give you something to look forward to. In the coming weeks, we are going to cover, I have a list right here of topics, starting with understanding your customer, positioning and messaging, your website as the hub of your system, search engine optimization, answer engine optimization, so AI, search, and being found, content that attracts clients, social media with a purpose, paid traffic engines, turning traffic into leads, email nurturing and follow-up, automation and systems, measuring and optimizing, and we're just going to cap things off on week 13, going about the discussion of your 90-day growth plan. But if you don't want to wait 90 days, give us a call, because we have this all written out, ready to roll. We have a plan already written up that pretty much any business can use. It's a marketing plan. It's a content marketing plan. And it's going to allow any business to go from whatever they're doing now to 90 days worth of content across multiple platforms. So consistency, distribution, and it's going to generate a lot of visibility. So with the minimal amount of work needed on your end of things, right? Us business owners are busy, and so we want to know what best way can we get the most output from the least amount of time or input. So thank you, friends, for listening. Glad to be here on the microphone again, and looking forward to catching you next time. Have a good one.